What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Octagon Jordan. We are here to discuss UFC 312, Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. And a lot of the results was kind of what I was expecting. I wasn't very shocked by any of the results. I did think that Dricus was going to get a stoppage. I had Dricus by TKO in a lot of my parlays. I was telling my friends and family Dricus TKO. So I'm bummed out that Dricus did not get the stoppage. He was close in the fourth round, breaking Sean Strickland's nose in the fourth round, making him bloodied, battered, couldn't see, eyes watered. Sean kind of started to panic a little bit in the fourth round, touching the nose, trying to kind of reset it, move it back in place. But Dricus was just too much at the end of the day. I mean, too aggressive, too strong, too well-versed, had better kicks. Sean Strickland doesn't really kick. I mean, he has the teep kick to the belly button type of thing. But Dricus started implementing the spinning heel kicks, the high kicks, the body kicks, and he was just winning on points. And you know how Sean Strickland, we all know Sean Strickland's style. He loves to win on points, and Dricus took that away from him. He was like, I'm going to try to knock you out, but if I don't knock you out, I'm not losing on points. I'm going to kick the leg, I'm going to kick the body, I'm going to do spinning kicks, I'm going to land bigger shots, I'm going to bloody up, and that's what happened. No headbutt here. Broke Sean Strickland's nose in the fourth round. Made him bleed all over the mat. Had a way better kicking game than Sean Strickland. Took Sean Strickland down once. Strickland never shot for a takedown once. Again, it's one of those things where you kind of look at Sean Strickland and you're like, how did you expect to win this fight? What was your strategy going in? Did you expect to knock Dricus out? I mean, that probably wasn't going to happen. Did you expect to submit Dricus? That probably wasn't going to happen. So your best bet was probably to win on points. And Strickland he's not active with the low kicks. He's not active with the kicking game at all outside of the teeps to the belly button. And that's what you get. I mean, you get a boxing style, very defensive, and not many kicks, not many takedowns, no jiu-jitsu, no submissions. So it's hard to score for Strickland. That's why he loses these split decisions to a Jared Cannonier, to Dricus the first time. And this time around, Dricus just came out more confident, better defense from Dricus, knew what Strickland was going to do, implemented a lot more kicking in this matchup, Dricus did. And, when you're in there for 25 minutes with Dricus Du Plessis, he's gonna find his mark. He's going to find the target, and that's exactly what he did in the fourth round. Bloodied Strickland up, broke his nose. Strickland was kind of panicking, trying to reset the nose, and he just bled out for the rest of the rounds. And, Dricus does his thing. Kicks, punches, stays strong, great chin on him, and that's what it was. I thought Dricus was going to be able to get a stoppage in this matchup. I'm really bummed out that Dricus did not get a stoppage here. But hey, you know what? He won every single fucking round. He was stronger than Strickland, more diverse with his attacks than Strickland, landed on the button more than Strickland, broke Strickland's nose. And, that's how it goes. I was hoping for a Dricus stoppage. He was close in that fourth round, but he outclassed him. He was stronger. He was more diverse, and that's just how it goes. Zhang Weili against Tatiana Suarez. I had Zhang Weili all day, every day. Everybody was asking me. Zhang Weili actually closed as a plus 130 underdog. Talk about free money. I mean, we're talking about Tatiana Suarez, 11-0, one-dimensional. Yeah, great wrestler. Great wrestler. Striking is abysmal. Abysmal. And Zhang Weili can wrestle. How did she beat Amanda Lemos? Was it with striking? Did she beat Amanda Lemos with striking? No, she did not. She beat Amanda Lemos with her wrestling. What about Yan Xiaonan? Did she beat her with her striking? Yeah, she touched her up with the striking. But no, it was with the grappling ability. She almost submitted Yan Xiaonan in the first round of UFC 300. So Zhang Weili is strong, first of all. She's a fucking specimen, and she can grapple, and she can wrestle, and she can strike. So going into this, Tatiana Suarez, all she has is grappling. That's all she has. Sorry. She's not a striker. She has no striking ability. She's coming off a long layoff. She has injury history. One of my buddies was telling me, Zhang Weili, she was rumored to have an injury. I was like, well, Tatiana Suarez has an injury every fucking year. And she can't strike. So Zhang Weili can grapple and wrestle and strike and has power and can KO. And has jiu-jitsu. Tatiana Suarez has wrestling. And she's coming off a huge layoff. She's one-dimensional. This is a title fight, boys. This isn't a prelim fight coming off Dana White's Contender Series. Fucking load of horse shit. This is a title fight. These girls are well-rounded. If it's a title fight for men, they're well-rounded. They know how to grapple. They know how to defend submissions. They know how to do this. They know how to do that. And, Tatiana Suarez coming into it, I just thought was one-dimensional. I thought she was coming off a long layoff, and she wasn't as strong as Weili, and that's kind of how it turned out. First round looked kind of promising for Suarez. Got the takedown initially, but couldn't do anything with it. Didn't come close to any submission attempts. Didn't come close to any ground and pound. And that's kind of how it goes. Got switched. Zhang Weili got on top at the end of the first round. Started landing a couple shots to the ribs, a couple shots upstairs. I thought Zhang Weili might have even stolen the first round. I gave it to Tatiana Suarez because she had more time, more control, but Weili definitely did more damage. That's for damn sure. So going in the second, third, fourth, fifth, I was pretty confident Zhang Weili was going to get it done, and that's exactly what she did. She was stronger than Tatiana Suarez, more well-rounded. Clipped her on the chin, hurt her bad, fucking punched her right in the goddamn fucking face, punched her right on that big fucking tall chin, and just bodied her. Dominated her bitch ass. Zhang Weili is a stud. I don't know how Rose Namajunas beat this motherfucker twice. I get the head kick in the first matchup. But the second matchup, I don't know how Rose Namajunas out-grappled Zhang Weili and got a decision over 5 rounds. It's baffling to me. I got no idea. Let me make sure everything's working properly. Yes, it is. But I really have no clue. Anyway, Zhang Weili was more dominant, more well-versed, more abilities, more, just well-rounded. We got Justin Tafa against Talison Teixeira. I thought this guy, Talison Teixeira, was a big old goofball, a big goon, a goof, a doofus. But turns out the guy's got some spunk. He's got some pop to him. He was not intimidated whatsoever. Didn't give a fucking bullocks. Got in the octagon, was not nervous. Justin Tafa got in the octagon. He looked pretty good. He was doing the classic Samoa bullshit. Get in there. He's pretty stoic. He's got the shorts. He's got the tattoos. He's got the mustache. He's got the knockout ability. He looked pretty stoic in there. But Talison Teixeira, first debut on a pay-per-view feature fight. The guy looked like he had no butterflies whatsoever. Looked confident. Looked like he knew exactly what was going to happen. It looked like the script was already going in his head. I was very, very, very impressed by Talison Teixeira in this fight. I thought he was going to be a big old clown, a big old doofus in there. Austin Lane-esque, and kind of just, batter and roll and fucking roly-poly-oly around, but he didn't do that. He struck with Justin Tafa, clipped him on the chin, got aggressive, got physical in the clinch, pushed him up against the fence. Tafa tried to kind of, frame out of there, and Teixeira, with his long limbs, had the reach advantage, framed as well, and then on the break, hit him with a mean elbow right to the orbital/nose, and Tafa crumbled like a fucking brick shithouse, crumbled to the ground like Lord of the Rings, Saruman, Oregon, Mordor type shite. And then he had the audacity to fucking complain about the stoppage. What in the fuck? What are we doing here, boys? He curled up Anthony Smith-esque. Anthony Smith, full fucking hands on the head, curled up into a roly-poly-oly type ball, and got cracked and his nose fucked, and then had the audacity to complain about the stoppage. It's just absurd, insane. Talison Teixeira showed great poise out there. Did not look nervous whatsoever. Highly impressed by Talison Teixeira. I know Justin Tafa's one-dimensional. Heavyweight fucking blows. You're not going to get a well-rounded heavyweight until you fight a Tom Aspinall, a Volkov, a Curtis Blades, potentially, John Jones. But if you're fighting the Justin Tafas, the Marcin Tyboras, the Tai Tuivasas, if you're well-rounded, confident, can grapple, are strong in the clinch, good framing, you're going to beat these motherfuckers. And Talison Teixeira, I tell you what, Justin Tafa is a one-dimensional heavyweight, but he's got power in his hands, and for making a debut on a pay-per-view feature fight with a crowd in attendance, and to not have any butterflies or nerves and just go out there very stoic and take care of business. Push Tafa up against the fence, get him in the clinch, and then on the break hit him with a mean short elbow right to the nose and crumble him Anthony Smith-esque. I mean, highly impressive shit out of Taliesin Teixeira. He's somebody to watch. I mean, I didn't really have too many high hopes for this cat. I think I watched his Contender Series fight, coming in. Here, put the fucking camera on me. I watched his Contender Series fight coming in, and he looked okay. A little lumbering, not very flight of foot. Looked like he's a tall guy, left openings. His chin was kind of out there. I don't know about his wrestling ability, so I kind of faded him in this fight. You know what I mean? I thought it was a 50-50 fight, and no, he showed a lot of poise in there. He showed a lot of strength in there, and he got it fucking done. Jimmy Crute goes to a draw again. 2 out of Jimmy Crute's last 3 fights have been draws. I mean, what draw have we seen outside of Jimmy Crute? I remember the Micallef Blachowicz draw. Off the top of my head here, I'm trying to think. What other draws have we seen? I mean, there's definitely been a couple out there. Man, off the top of my head, the only one I can think of is Micallef and Blachowicz, other than the Jimmy Crute, Alonzo Menafield, and Jimmy Crute finds himself in a draw again. It's got to be demoralizing for a guy like Jimmy Crute. Coming off a draw, then a submission loss, then a long layoff. You're in your hometown. You don't have to travel much. You're coming off a long layoff. The crowd's excited to see you. You got the mullet, and you get a draw. I mean, you can't script this shit. You cannot script this shit. Jimmy Crute comes out like a ball of fire, 10-8s him in the first round, KOs him on the feet. He looks like a baby gazelle, a baby giraffe, running around the fucking Australian safari, Australia Zoo, fucking crumbling around like a brand new newborn gazelle. Guy doesn't even know his own name, and somehow Jimmy Crute finds a way to fumble it and get a draw. Almost submitted him. I put $10 on Jimmy Crute via submission. Plus 1,100. Jimmy Crute via submission. Drops him in the first round. Gets his back. Almost has a rear naked choke. And Bellato, like Bellato always does against Ior Potieria, almost got KO'd 6 times. Comes back. Somehow finds a way to win. Incredible. Don't know how he does it. Jimmy Crute fumbles the bag again. Has the guy on wobbly legs. Basically KOs him. Anshan Jubilee in the first fight against Quinlan. It was the same shit here. Got stung, KO'd, went to the ground, looked like a sack of potatoes. Three. And then that ref jumps right in. Anshan Jubilee tries to get up, tries to grapple, tries to grab a single leg. That ref says, fuck no, you're done. This one, Jimmy Crute cracks Bellato. Bellato's like a newborn gazelle, falling all over the place, looking at the ground, fucking wobbly eye, googly eye, where the fuck am I? The ref's like, nah, fucking die on your shield, die on your sword, and Bellato comes back. I mean, it's a tale of 2 different fights. Anshan Jubilee, or whatever the fuck, Jubilee, I'm going to say, the only Indian fighter. Not that he would have came back, but the ref jumped right on him. In this instance, Bellato got he was like fucking leg shot out, and Jimmy Crute fumbles again. I mean, I wish I didn't have to say it that bluntly and that insultingly, but Jimmy Crute fumbles again. He had it in his grasps. He had the jaws, or he had the victory in his hands, and it got stolen from him from the jaws of defeat, and he gets a fucking draw. What an idiot. Jake Matthews, Francisco Prado. I was disappointed in this fight. I had Francisco Prado the whole week. I had him in my parlay. My parlay was money. I had 3 underdog hits. Going into this one, this was my 4th of 5 legs to win $1,800 off a $20 bet, and I had Prado here. I thought he was stronger. I thought he was going to land the more vicious shots, the more consequential shots. That's not what happened. Jake Matthews was way bigger than Prado, way crisper, better combinations than Prado, stronger in the clinch. I think got a couple takedowns, I believe. But just better combinations. Would do 3, 4, 5 punch combinations. Prado was throwing 1 punch, 2 punches. Jake Matthews in the clinch, stayed active, hit him with the uppercuts, blooded him up. He was just bigger, more active. more punches, bloodied him up, and that was pretty much it. I mean, Prado stood strong in there, didn't get KO'd or nothing, looked strong, landed some good punches of his own, but just didn't have enough moments. And Jake Matthews was bigger than him, used his size advantage, used the volume, and took home the decision. I mean, it's easy as that. Jack Jenkins, Gabriel Santos. I thought this fight was going to be a great fight. It was a good fight. Jack Jenkins lands a head kick in the first round. I thought Santos was done. I was like, holy shit, here we go. David Onama all over again. Santos, a great prospect. I thought he actually beat Lerone Murphy in his first UFC debut. I thought he beat Lerone Murphy and then was beating David Onama up until he got KO'd. And then he destroyed some Japanese prospect, and then he's going up against Jack Jenkins, gets head kicked in the first round. Jack Jenkins is excited, he's getting on top. Gabriel Santos is too well-rounded. His jiu-jitsu, his grappling is awesome. Hit the switch, got on top, started battering Jack Jenkins in the second round. Was just quicker, faster, more quick twitch. I can't even talk right now. Quick twitch muscles, muscle fibers. Quick twitch, fucking in and out movement. He was just too much for Jack Jenkins. Too energetic, too well versed. Got him to the ground. Almost submitted him a couple times. I thought the second round he was going to get it done. In the third round, he had his back, he had the hooks in. Jack Jenkins was fighting off the choke pretty well. Kept fighting off the choke, and then I think there was kind of a scramble. The guys were getting up a little bit, and that allowed Santos to reposition his arm, get right under the neck, kind of right on the trachea, forearm right there, and Jack Jenkins had no choice but to submit. Gabriel Santos is a problem. He's a problem. I thought he beat Lerone Murphy. He was beating David Onama before he got KO'd, so he's a big problem. Tom Nolan, Vyacheslav Borshchev. Tom Nolan was just stronger. Mixed in the takedowns, had a couple takedowns on Slavicolaus. Didn't do much on the ground. It's not like he was close to any submissions or close to any major ground and pound, anything like that. But mix it, if it's a close fight and you're mixing in the takedowns, the judges, 9 times out of 10 are going to give you the W. If it's a 50-50 fight, you're mixing the takedowns. That's pretty much what Tom Nolan did. He landed the more powerful shots. He shook Borshchev a few times. Checked his chin a few times. I mean, the chin on Borshchev is a mazeballs. The guy can take a fucking punch. He took a front kick from Nazim Sadikov right to the nose, stuck in there and got a draw out of it. This fight, he was getting battered and bruised. He was getting touched up. He was getting kicked. He was getting punched by big trained Tom Nolan. And he was sticking in there, man. He was staying strong. I thought Tom Nolan was going to mix in the wrestling, which he did. Like I said prior, he got some takedowns. Borshchev had really good takedown defense in the second and third round. Really didn't allow much. But again, Tom Nolan's trying those. He's getting those positions up against the fence. He's grabbing the legs. He's getting you down. You're popping back up. And then he's cracking you. He's going to win the decision. So Tom Nolan just mixed it up a little bit better than Borshchev. Had more power than Borshchev. And landed more than Borshchev. And got the win. Cong, Bruna Brazil, not much to say here. Bruna Brazil, she's a little skinny toothpick. No finishing ability. She wasn't active enough to win a decision. That's pretty much it. She was never going to finish Wang Kong or Wang Tong, whatever the fuck. No finishing ability. She looked like a prepubescent boy out there, a middle schooler out there. Arms were little toothpicks. And her only hope was to outpoint Wang Tong, and it just wasn't going to happen tonight. She had no chance in this fight. She was never going to submit her. She was never going to knock her out. Her only opportunity was to win on points, and that wasn't happening tonight. She got destroyed. Colby Thicknesse against Alexandre Topuria. Ilia Topuria's brother. And hey, I gotta say, Alexandre Topuria, he looked like Ilia Topuria in there. He had the same kind of movement, the slow, very calm, hands up. You're kind of just jumping around. You're not really cutting off your opponent. You're kind of just hopping, like skipping rope type of thing. You're just hopping to the left and then kind of reset in a really cool, swaggy type of way. And then hop, and then you're always kind of cool, and you're moving, and you get hit, but you're fine. Not as much power as his brother, Ilia Topuria. Very similar stance, very well-rounded, great wrestling, great grappling, good on the ground, had good ground and pound, hit Colby Thicknesse with some elbows right to the eyebrow, right to the forehead. Hit him with a nice right hand. I think it was the first round, I'm pretty sure. Kind of dropped, dizzied Colby Thicknesse. But Alexandre Topuria looked good. Well-rounded, looked good on the ground, good scrambles. I don't see the same power. I don't see the same quickness with the hands. Topuria looked good with the hands. I mean, he cracked Thicknesse with the right hand in the first round. Looked decent with the hands. Same kind of style. Very meticulous, very calculating, good defense, very calm type of style. Just don't see the same power as his brother Ilya. Other than that, though, I mean, looked well-rounded, good on the ground, confident, calm. Just, I don't see the same finishing ability as his brother Ilya Topuria, which is Ilya's biggest strength, obviously. That's how he stopped Volkanovski. That's how he stopped Max Holloway. That's how he stopped Bryce Mitchell. That's how he stopped Jai Herbert, is with his power, his punches, knocked him out. And I don't see that really here with Alexandre Topuria, but again, you never know. It was his debut. It was a short-notice opponent. The jitters, the octagon jitters, that type of shit. I think it was a long layoff for him as well. But looked good in there. Very fundamental, very technical. Looked just like his brother as far as stance, as far as calmness. Looked amazing. I just didn't see the same power that I was hoping to see. I was hoping to see a KO. Did not see that. Rong against Cody Steele. This was fight of the night for me. These guys were swinging bombs at each other. Holy shit. I had this fight going to decision plus 168, and it cashed somehow. Fucking hell. I have no idea how this fight cashed to decision. These guys were winging shots, winging punches at each other, bloodying each other. Cody Steele got dropped like 2, 3, 4 times. And Rong had more power, more technical, and Cody Steele did not mix up any of the takedowns. He didn't mix up the takedowns. He wasn't as crisp. He's great chin. Great chin on old Cody Steele. Cody Steel Chin Steele. Steel Chin Steele. That's not really how you want to be known, Steel Chin. But Cody Steel Chin Steele won me some money on the going to decision, plus 165. Cody Steel Chin. Fight of the night. Rong was winging shots. The most powerful shots I think I saw all night came from Rong. He was throwing knockout punches. It was incredible. Cody Steele could not get the grappling going, and he just wasn't quick enough. Rong was quicker, faster, crisper punches, and won a decision. Jonathan Micallef against Kevin Jousset. I picked the underdog in this one, Jonathan Micallef, however you say it. Kevin Jousset, I saw his last fight against Brian Battle. Didn't look too impressive in that one. Lost on volume. He beat Kiefer Crosby. He's kind of a point fighter. Didn't really see him winning by submission here. Didn't really see him winning by KO here. His only real path to victory, I thought, was via points. Maybe he implements his technical kickboxing that he's kind of known for. He trains with City Kickboxing, CKB. He trains with CKB, Israel Adesanya. I thought he would be good with the point fighting type of bullshit. I thought that was his best path of victory, was to win by points. But Jonathan just didn't let it happen. He just kept striking in the rib shots, the body kicks, all that type of shit, breaking up his rhythm. Wouldn't let Kevin Jousset get any type of rhythm until the third round. And Jonathan just looked sharper, more impactful, and did more damage. I mean, simple is what simple does, and he did more damage. Kevin Jousset, he's a point fighter. He's not going to beat you by submission. He's not going to beat you by knockout. And in this fight, he lost. So, is what it is. First fight of the night, Quinlan Salkild against Anshan Jubilee. I'm not going to lie here. I thought Anshan Jubilee was a decent underdog at plus 430. Both guys were coming in this fight at 7-1. Similar records. Anshan Jubilee won road to UFC, which is a tough competition, a lot of good competition. Jubilee won that. Both of these guys, like I said, were 7-1 coming into this. I thought Jubilee at plus 430 was worth a flyer, worth a $10, a $15, and $18, and $19, $20. But no, he got viciously KO'd in the first 20 seconds. And the funny thing about this is, as soon as the fight started, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, we haven't really seen too many quick like KOs. Like literally, the fight started, and my first thought was, I don't know why. I really don't know why. This was my first thought, but the fight started, and I just thought, we don't really see many KOs within like the first 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And then I started thinking about the Masvidal, Ben Askren. I have no idea why. Like literally, the first 5 seconds went by, the first 10 seconds went by. I was like, I remember Masvidal just came out and just KO'd Ben Askren in 3 seconds. That was pretty crazy. Like, we don't really see that much. And then 5 seconds later, Sally killed, just absolutely one-punch KOs Jubilee into oblivion, drops like an absolute sack of potatoes, hits his head on the fucking canvas. I think he wakes back up after fucking dinging his head against the canvas, tries to grapple, ref's pulling him down, no motherfucker, you lost, and then has the audacity to yell at the ref. I get it, you're in a daze, you're seeing stars, you don't know what's happening. He dropped like a sack of potatoes. I thought it was a little early stoppage, because he did wake up when his head hit the ground, hit the canvas. He did wake up. He's trying to grapple. But when you see that visual, a guy just go limp, completely go limp, hit the ground like a sack of potatoes, he hits his head, he wakes back up. It was a tad early. You like to see it go a little bit more, especially if the guy wakes back up. We've seen it before. Bellato, he's done that a few times. The Topuria fight. But Jubilee got cracked in the first 20 seconds, sack of potatoes. And like I said, the crazy thing was, for some reason, as soon as this fight started, I was thinking to myself, we just don't see many quick KOs anymore. Like, when's like the first 10 seconds, like KO, like that Masvidal bullshit, and then boom, Jubilee gets absolutely eviscerated, sack of potatoes, wakes back up after smacking his head against the canvas, and that's all she wrote for UFC 312. Kind of a dumpy card. I mean, it was entertaining. They were saying there was supposed to be a lot of KOs once Quinlan got the first 20-second KO in the first fight. Then we went decision, Rong decision, prelims, Topuria decision. Then we went Cong decision. Then we went Nolan decision. We finally got a submission, Gabriel Santos, but still no knockout. Then we got Jake Matthews' decision. Then we got a Jimmy Crute draw, went to decision. Finally, a Taliesin Teixeira, knockout, TKO type of roll up in a ball, curl up in a ball type of whirly-poly, roly-poly-oly type of bullshit. Zhang Weili decision, Dricus Du Plessis decision. So there was only 2 KOs on this entire card. When you see a weak card like this, that's really afloat by the main event and co-main event, you want to see a lot of KOs. You want to see a lot of action. It's like a lot of these fight night cards where they're like, well, on paper, it wasn't really too exciting, but when we watched it, there was a lot of epic KOs. Flying knees, Vinicius Oliveira against Sopage, spinning back fist, this and that, head kicks, knees, whatever the fuck. Unfortunately, this card did not live up to expectations, even for the low bar that I put it at, because it was a lackluster card when it came to name value, consequential fights, ranked fighters. I was hoping for a KO in the Jimmy Crute fight. We didn't get it. I was hoping for a Francisco Prado KO. Didn't get it. On the prelims, I was hoping for a Tom Nolan Big Train KO. Didn't get it. A Wang Cong KO. The Joker didn't get it. Alexander Topuria do something crazy. Turn the guy into a piece of plywood. Stiff as a board. Didn't get it. So overall, disappointing card. Very, very disappointing card. It was fun. Couple good scraps. I was impressed by Taleisin Teixeira, the poise that he showed. Dricus, obviously in the main event, winning all 5 rounds against Sean Strickland. It's tough to do. Very difficult to do. Impressed by that. Zhang Weili, underdog money. I mean, what are we doing here? Underdog money. Bet the fucking house. Zhang Weili, underdog money is just ridiculous. But Alexander Topuria, it looked okay. Is what it is. Jimmy Crute, another draw. Comes back off a 1.5-year layoff, all excited, in front of his home crowd, and gets a draw. I mean, what can you do? What can you say? At the end of the day, Ak J is always here for you, baby. Down the hatch.